Hi guys, and welcome along to Curry Conundrum. And this evening what I'm going to do is I'm going to make two curries, and one's going to be vegetarian and one is going to be lamb. So for the beginning, the start, I'm going to grate this carrot. I'm going to chop 2 onions this size, chop up these tomatoes, grate the ginger and the garlic. I'll probably chop the garlic, but I'll grate the ginger. You can grate the ginger. The other way you can obviously do that is to do a garlic and ginger paste. I'm going to chop up some of this green pepper, and for the end of the meal it's going to be a potato for the vegetarian, and this here is lamb cubes for the lamb meal. And I'm going to chop in some of the peppers into the vegetarian meal at the end as well. I haven't actually decided what sort of curries I'm going to make just now, but I'm going to make the beginning of the curry conundrum method, and this is the curry conundrum method where we're not using base, and you'll see just how easy it is to do a meal, a curry like this from scratch, and we follow roughly the same principles. So I'm going to get myself prepped and I'm going to start filming, and you'll be able to see the start of how to make a curry with no base. We're going to make a meat curry and a vegetable curry at the same time. Okay guys, let's get this curry started. I've did the initial prep. Remember, when you're using the techniques that I use for cooking curries, I very rarely go on a high heat. I tend to think that when you see the chefs that go on about the high heat, having this fantastic high heat, what they're really saying to you is, you can't make this curry. That's what they're really saying to you. So when you do try and make it, if it doesn't work out right, it's nothing to do with the recipe. The reason it's not worked out is because you don't have the high heat, you don't have the correct instruments, you don't have the correct tools. Well, here at Curry Conundrum, I guarantee you our curries turn out and work out time after time after time, and we almost never use a high heat. We only use a high heat when the pan gets too cold and we're waiting for it to heat up again, and we did it pretty quick. Other than that, we just cook at a nice low heat virtually all the time. So no need for special equipment here, no need for special pots and pans, although I do have some very nice pots and pans, but this is a big hobby of mine, and I'm at the stage in life where I can enjoy buying things like this, so no need for that sort of thing. So I put about 80 millilitres of olive oil in the pan. As I said, I almost always only use olive oil. I'm not against using vegetable oil, it's just it's a preference, it's a health choice that I use olive oil. And into here, what we said at the start was we were going to put in our onions, our garlic and ginger, and we're doing that, and also our green pepper. So that's what's going in there. And also, in addition to that, we're also going to put in some carrot, and there's the ginger there. So that's what we'll put in there. We're going to let this heat up, get it on a high heat to get it started, and then we'll turn it straight back down again. Now, when you're making an actual curry using curry base, what you're doing is you're cooking your curry base for at least, say this again, I'll say again and again, at least 2 hours you need to cook that curry base for, or else it just doesn't taste right. So with this curry, you need to do the exact same thing. You cannot hurry this curry, you cannot do it quickly. I'm not saying you can't make a good curry in 25 minutes, I know you can. I'm not saying you can't make one in an hour, I know you can, but if you want to make a really good curry, then this is going to take you at least 20 minutes or so, 10, 15, 20 minutes of frying, and then some time to actually cook it, and that is to add water to it. Now you'll notice here that we're not going to add any meat at this point. I'm going to cook this meat separately because it's a vegetarian meal, you can't have meat in there. Also, if I was just doing a meat curry, I would have my stock cube in here at the moment as well, and I'd be using a stock cube to flavour, but I'm not doing that at the moment. So we're going to fry this off for quite a bit. probably stop speaking just now and we'll fast forward through this video until we get to the part where we're starting our next stage. So I'll stop talking now and we'll get ready to fast forward through. Okay, so this has been cooking for about 15 minutes. You can do this for 20 minutes, even longer. You can do it at higher heats, obviously. As I say, I'm inclined to do this at a low heat all the time, and I get very good results. So here we have something that I could have put in right at the very start, which is a level teaspoonful of cumin seeds. And the rest of the ingredients here, which will obviously be in the description, are a half a teaspoonful of pepper, a teaspoonful every one of these is level teaspoonful of salt, turmeric, chilli, garam masala. This is mixed Italian herbs. I use this in my curry base, so it's going in this curry, and ground cumin and ground coriander. So in they go. And obviously at the end of this curry, when you taste it, you may think, well, the next time I'm going to make this, I might want to use less chilli or more chilli. I might want to use more of something else or less of something else. That's completely up to yourself. The all important part here is you need to make sure that your curry doesn't start to stick to the bottom of the pan here. So add in a little bit of water. We just want to cook these spices for a little bit of time before we start to really cook the curry. And what we're going to do is we're going to add water to it and just let this cook away for about an hour. While that's happening, I am going to put the lamb into this pot here at the back of the boiling water. I don't know if you can see it. And then closer to the time when the curry's almost ready, I'm going to cook these potatoes, because you couldn't put these potatoes in at this point, they would just disintegrate. You need to do this at the end, so they need to be cooked separately and then added in separately at the end. So we're just going to cook this away, and generally, as I said, I think I said anyway, I would put my stock cube in at the start, but we're not going to do that for this one because we're making half vegetable and half meat curry at the same time. It's a great skill for you if you're in a household where people are meat eaters and people are vegetarians, and you just cannot be bothered making 2 different curries or 3 different curries. You can make the one curry with the curry conundrum technique and then turn it into several curries, and we'll do that at the end of the video. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to add water in here. Now this is a stage where it really does not matter how much water you add, because you're going to be reducing the water off anyway. One of my catchphrases is water is your enemy when you're making a curry, and the water is your enemy when you're making a curry. You do not want too much water at the end of a curry, you just want enough. And here we have some chopped tomatoes, they're going in as well. At the end of cooking, it's your choice what you want to turn your curry into, but this here, barring one more ingredient, will make a very, very nice curry. What we're hoping is going to happen now, within an hour. It will certainly happen, but it might take longer than an hour. But what we're hoping is that the onions are going to break down and they're going to become saucy. The carrots certainly will break down, and hopefully the green peppers will decide to join it to a certain extent as well. Where spices will mix through there and will cook, and it will become a nice saucy curry. So once we bring it to the boil, we're going to put the lid on it We're going to leave it boiling there for an hour and then come back and have a look. We're also going to leave the lamb on the back boiling for an hour. Once we come back and we start to boil it down, we'll start to cook the potatoes for the vegetable curry, and the lamb will just be nice and tender at that point. Some people cook their lamb in curry base. I don't bother. If I'm cooking lamb, I just cook it in water, and it turns out okay for me. So once it starts to boil, we will be ready to begin cooking this base. I'll just switch you off just now until it starts to boil. Okay, that's us coming to the boil now, and we've got our lamb on the back here as well. We're going to start to cook for an hour, and this is going to simmer away for an hour, and then we'll come back and have a look at it. We're going to give it enough time for the tomatoes, the ginger, the garlic, the onions, the carrots, and also the peppers to start to break down and start to become a sauce while they're cooking in the water. And I think it's essential to give the onions at least an hour to an hour and a half to develop that sweetness that these great chefs claim you get from high heat. I do not think so. Okay guys, welcome back. So I've had the timer on for an hour, and we'll have a wee look at this, and this is what we're seeing. So we've fried the onions for about 15 minutes. We've now boiled them for about an hour. And we're going to start to reduce this down so that we can actually make the curries. I know it doesn't look anything like a curry at the moment, but trust you me, in about 20 minutes time it will be looking like a curry. So we'll turn the heat up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these potatoes on to boil. Just cut those 4 potatoes into smaller cubes like that. Put them on to boil. The lamb has been at the back boiling. So what we're also going to put in here now is we're going to, you can put this in right at the start as well, or you could even put it in at the end, is we're going to put in some sweet chilli sauce. When you see recipes for curries, if they don't add something that gives it some sweetness, then in my opinion it's not even worth trying. You may be able to prove me wrong, but you should see something like honey, brown sugar, or even white sugar. I think the Indians call it jaggery, which is a strong, powerful sugar as well. I've never used it, I've never seen it. I'm not against using it, but I've just never had the chance to. But the thing that I find makes a magnificent difference to every curry you'll ever make is sweet chilli sauce. So that's why I add that. And I add that to all my curries. So what I've done now is I've made the very start of the curry, and this is how I make all my curries. When you start to do this, you'll get an idea of how much vegetables you're putting in, and how to start to get this to work out correct for you every time. And you'll be able to adjust these recipes yourself, but certainly just follow this recipe initially. Oh, and also, before I forget, because I have forgotten several times already in this video, I am doing this for Bernadette. So there you are, Bernadette, I'm making this vegetable curry for you, to let you see just how easy this is to do. Bernadette has been watching my videos, but isn't sure she's going to try them, but I'm confident after seeing this one she'll give it a go. But Bernadette is a vegetarian, so she will not eat anything that has meat in it. So, enjoy, Bernadette. So our lamb's been on for an hour. We've just started to put our potatoes on. We're reducing this down, and this is all now about timing, and we can do the timing quite easy because we can speed something up and slow something down and just take our time. We're not in any hurry to make this curry. We don't have a hungry family waiting at the moment. This is for tomorrow night's dinner, and we're just cooking away. And what I'm going to make here now is I'm going to make a vegetable patia using my method for making patia, and also a spicy lamb curry which will resemble a lamb bhunna. Lamb bhunna is my favourite, but also the one meal that I do find very, very difficult to make. But I do have several different recipes for making a lamb bhunna, and I'm going to make one of them this evening. So we're now going to reduce this down, and again I'm going to put you on fast forward, and we'll see you in about 15 minutes. Okay, so what we're trying to achieve here is very little water in this. We don't want water in our curry. Water is just flavour, and we want the flavour evaporated completely down and in our curry. So this stuff at the side as well is just flavour that we want in our curries. Some of these super duper chefs call it caramelisation. Maybe, I don't know. But we're starting to get to the stage where the water is drying out, and we now want to get to a second stage. Just put a little splash of oil in here, and just going to start heating up the pan again down to a low heat. I'm going to split this juice, this curry sauce, into two. So, that's roughly correct. Now we've got two pans reducing at the same time. We're getting into a situation where we'll be doing this twice as fast. This is not a quick way to make a curry, but if you made this in advance, this sauce, it would be a quick way, because then you could just bring it out, even freeze it like this, in the desired, in a container that suit yourself, and then you make a curry pretty quick. What we're doing here is we're reducing this down as much as we can. And the back here needs to get started. So as I said, I'm making a vegetable curry here, and I'm making a lamb curry. So the vegetable curry that I'm going to make is my interpretation of a patia. And patia is a sweet and sour sauce, and you can use any sweet and sour sauce that you like. But the one that I use is tomato ketchup and mango. You really should try this because it really is absolutely superb. So what we'll do is, I've got about a table and a half spoonful of mango, a table and a half spoonful of tomato ketchup. I've got half a stock cube, vegetable stock cube, and I've got some green and red peppers. I'm also going to add in some of this potato at the back. So in it goes. And again, we're still taking time here to thicken up the sauce. What you can do also is, just before you add in the mango and the tomato and the peppers, you can take some of that curry gravy out, put it into a dish, and you can think, well, what would go nice with this? A bit of cream or a bit of coconut. Maybe you want to try it with some methi. You might want to try it a wee bit hotter as a madras. You might want to try and put crazy things in it, like lime pickle, and just to see how it tastes and to get an idea if it gives you any ideas of how things taste in your local curry restaurants. And you'll be surprised at how often you'll get very, very close to what they're trying to achieve, or what they're making for you. This is how I do it, this is how I experiment, and I just trial and error. So this one at the back is again just a wee bit of water at the moment, so we're just letting that reduce. And what I'm putting in here, I'm putting in a half a chicken stock cube, a tablespoonful of methi leaves, a tablespoonful of tomato puree, some green pepper, and at the very bottom you just see there are 2 very finely chopped green chillies. This is going to be a nice spicy curry, so in it goes. Stir that through. Even at this stage, don't be afraid to add more water to this if you think it needs cooked longer, or if you think that you want to try and get a different flavour involved in it. You can do that, no problems at all. When you add in the meat, annoyingly I don't have any fresh coriander, but I've got some frozen coriander, so I'll just put that in instead. Not a big fan of frozen coriander, but if it's all you have, then you just have to use it. In here, well, that's just the meat one's just reducing down. I'll put a few tomatoes at the side. This one here, I'll stir it around again. Put a nice sauce now. And into this one here, I am adding in just a touch of red food colour. I've double checked this is vegan, so we're good to go. And let's put it in there. Around. Again, once you've tried your own food colour a few times, you'll get an idea of how strong it can be. We want to add in the potatoes now into this one. Stir this around, please. Once you taste this, you can decide if it needs something else or if it needs nothing else. Two very nice curries here. I'm not going to put them into the bowls like I usually do, I'm just going to try them, see the taste. The curry's delicious. And this curry's delicious as well. I would maybe have liked a bit more sweetness in this one, so I may add in some more sweetness into this, but this one here is perfect, absolutely delicious. So there you go guys, as simple as that, making two curries from the one curry, a vegetable curry and a lamb curry. We'll call it a lamb bhunna and it's a vegetable patia. Thank you.